Welcome back into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller,
And my name's Brett Parnell.
and let's dive in. We have episode 9 of Survivor 49. What are your kind of overall thoughts on the episode?
Episode 9. This was interesting. Lots of fun going on. We had a totally individual challenge, which I liked. We should do more of that in the merge. We had some really strategic play between both sides and a couple free agents in the middle that'll really define the whole season. Notably, Sophie Segretti, who I know you met, seems to be not as tight with Sage and Joanne as we may have thought.
I don't know if it's them or it's like the Hina, Christina, Steven group, but yeah, my favorite players in this game are the two Sophies and then Savannah's after them. So I'm really hoping Sophie S starts working with the Savannah Rizo Sophie B.
Yeah,
So all my favorites are on the same group.
I agree.
But awesome episode. Disappointed in the boot because I finally lost someone.
Fair enough.
But the other person that
Bruce
got
is
multiple votes was Sophie B. So I'd rather lose one person from my draft team and still have a giant lead than lose one
it's
of my favorite players.
it's like the final eight or whatever. Losing someone from your draft team now should be expected.
Yeah, but I doesn't mean I have to be happy about it.
It
Up
reminds
until
me
this
of
past week, I had a shot at having first, second, and third, technically.
it reminds me of when it was at war when I lost. I mean, I lost him twice, but it was only when Tyson went out after coming back from the edge of extinction that I was actually down a full member permanently.
Nice.
And then
Yeah,
my other three players went to third, fourth, and sixth.
I'm sure I still have a pretty decent lead, but finally
You've
losing someone wasn't.
you've effectively won.
Well, what? But the question is, what if the next two boots are my other two people?
Fair.
If there's a way to just absolutely collapse and blow this lead, I would
That's
be
it.
the one it would happen to. But I'm glad both Sophies are still around. I'm glad Savannah's still around.
Well, Operation Beat Kevin was successful.
Yeah, we didn't even need to bring in any ringers. I mean, we did bring in ringers, but one of us did it, which makes it more fun.
Operation Kevin beat himself with his first pick.
Yeah, I'm not the person to say I told you. Well, with him I am, but I did say I didn't like that pick when it happened.
And
So
this is not roundtable chat, so that's okay.
I'd say it if he was on the chat. And if I get a text about this, I'll say it again. As you saw with us, you and me and him texting about the Survivor Marathon, I'm not shy with telling him when I disagree
That's
with
right. I
him.
forgot to tell you guys my list. I'll come up with that later, like over the weekend.
I'm not shy with when I disagree with him on Survivor, as you saw this week. But
We should bring up if we do like a cast assessment for 50 before the marathon starts, we should go over these lists and see who gets the most right.
I agree with a lot of his predictions. I just think the fact that he
I
says
know, I'm saying
no
yours
chance
and
the
mine.
Eric episode or any Micronesia content gets in is a little bit insane.
Yeah, I would agree.
Just because they milk that for everything it's worth, and Suri is, other than Rob, Suri is production's favorite. So
Now, if Suri and Amanda were both on the season, it would be 100%.
yeah, but that's one of the things she's most known for.
It is.
So we'll see.
I have to agree with Kevin, though, on one thing with that, and that's that, at least I don't know if this is why he thinks that, but that production may not want to bring Amanda into the recap, seeing how much, can you say, bitterness there is from the audience who thought she was coming back?
Okay, I get that, and as like one of the biggest Amanda fans in the fandom. I don't know the
One of the
entire fandom,
biggest?
but I'm going to declare myself that.
I'm going to just say
I
the
never
biggest.
expected her on 50.
So,
She dropped off the face of the show for a reason, and you can't even find her. Like the Drop Your Buffs podcast. They literally asked Parvati, where is she? Like, they asked guests where she is because she's unfindable.
mhm.
Like, anyone who expected her on 50 was kind of kidding themselves on. And I'm saying that as a huge Amanda fan.
That's fair.
That was never going to happen. That's what people get for taking Twitter rumors as truth.
Yeah, that's what I get for taking Twitter rumors as truth.
Yeah, but even you were like, yeah, maybe, maybe not.
I thought that there was a more than 50% chance.
I never thought it was going to happen. I think I probably told you that when the rumors were swirling too.
Yeah, you did.
But, like, and I'm not even saying the Eric episode would be the best example for this, but they milked that move in that episode for every. It's like the Sierra voting out her mom thing. They're gonna mention it any chance they get.
Yeah. Except they won't on 50 because there's no one related to that at all on 50.
No, but like anytime her name comes up, Prope's go-to is she voted out her mom.
There'll probably be some way he fits it into 50.
That and Suri getting up off the couch.
Yeah.
And not production itself, but if you hear Probst talk, it's Suri on the balance beam too, is a big one he likes. Which was really cool. I will give him that. But he has a few phrases that he just says 12 million. He's said 12 million times by now.
Yeah.
But we have plenty of time to do 50 coverage and predictions. You distracted me by getting me talking about disagreeing with Kevin. So,
we'll move on.
Episode 9 of 49. Who's your player of the week?
My player of the week in this episode, I'm going to go with Sophie B.
Really?
Sophie B is still here. Even though we didn't see anything happen, she's talking about her advantage. I think they're really setting her up to make a big move with that. And if I was Christina, I'd make sure I don't tell anybody about the idol because alliances are shifting all over the place. And it could get to the wrong person. And then next thing you know, the Sophie, Rizo, Savannah alliance has 2 idols and an advantage.
Yeah. Interesting that you went somewhere else because I thought after watching the episode, I thought for sure it has to be Rizo.
That's a good pick too.
Because
I guess it's
3 tribals in a row now. Everyone knows he has an idol. Everyone wants to flush the idol. And he not only gets away without playing it, but the first 2 he received no votes. And this time out of 9 votes, he received 1.
Yeah. I guess maybe
they're not even trying to flush it at this point. And now they've got 7 and an alliance of 3 plus maybe Sophie S. He's got an idol. Savannah's got an extra vote.
I guess maybe I've just put him off from player of the week because I'm expecting him to do something with that power he has and then become like the real start of the season at that point.
Yeah, one thought did cross my mind with him in this idol, and I think this will be a completely different scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't help but be reminded of Survivor 41, where we had another kind of younger guy in Xander, where everyone knew he had an idol. And like we as fans were kind of mystified that he was able to get to the end without playing it, and then the jury didn't care.
So are you predicting that Rizo gets 0 votes?
I'm not saying he will be Xander. I think he's a better player, but I can't help but think of that. Like we're all impressed.
Yeah.
I think
we were all impressed with Xander until instantly it just kind of turned on him. And the fan base went from thinking he was doing a good job to he would be easy to beat.
After the season, a lot of the fan base was saying he should have won. That was a debate for a little while.
I forgot that. Maybe that's just because the final 3 was so poor.
Yeah, it was. And somehow
I'm
no one
probably
got a vote.
I'm
But
probably gonna get my passport taken away for that, but oh well.
but and from what I've read with Xander, a lot of like the jury or his fellow players kind of thought he was very performative, if I remember. I
Yeah,
haven't like researched 41 a ton, and I don't get that vibe with Rizzo, but just the purpose of avoiding using an idol, I can't help but think of Xander and wonder if that's where we're heading, but I don't think that happens.
yeah,
If he somehow does get to the end without needing to use it, that's going to count for a lot.
yeah.
But yeah, that's my player of the week. He had an awesome episode. And the vote went home. Alex goes home. Rizzo was the one that was spreading the rumors and the chaos and figured out Alex was playing the middle.
Yeah.
So, moving into the episode, our five people from last week get back, and they're shocked to see MC was the one that went home.
Yeah.
And Sophie with an E, Sophie S, kind of takes offense at this. She's not thrilled at people's reactions because she also takes that as shocked that she didn't go home.
I agree with her.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where this was coming from, but at the end of the day, you weren't in tribal. We can argue about the fairness of that all day, and I don't necessarily think it's fair if you make the merge that you don't have a vote, but it's kind of like forcing you to play knowledge is safety without power simply based on the fact that you won. But at the same time, the rules are the rules, and the people who are voting are the ones that are entitled to make that decision. It's not I understand surprise, but I don't think it should be players questioning the decisions that were made. They weren't part of that decision.
Yeah. And I will say, I don't really have a problem with the fairness
Okay.
aspect in the sense that the name of the game is stay away from tribal.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to tribal. That's a good thing for you. So
That the name of the game, or is that the name of the pre-merge game? Because
if
you
you
don't
don't
really
go
have
to
an
tribal,
option.
you can't get voted out.
I
And
know,
the
but you don't really have an
the
option to stay away from tribal before the merge or after the merge normally.
Yeah, but not going to tribal is a good thing, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
I
don't feel like
understand.
it's a disadvantage.
I just think that they should, if they want to do a team of competition, say immunity goes to the five that hold on the longest, and that they still get to vote.
Yeah, I don't really mind this. Just it was something different. I,
Yeah,
he
I know.
likes the small tribals because there's less people to hide behind.
I
So
know.
it's I don't necessarily agree with him on that, but I also don't feel like the four people still at camp were disadvantaged by basically having immunity.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But I do think don't get angry at the people who voted if you had immunity.
Yeah, exactly. Like you won here. Like, and I don't know. Were they angry at MC going voted out? I kind of thought they were just surprised.
It seemed like most of them were surprised. I got the sense Christina was a bit angry.
I'd agree with that, but and that makes sense. Her and MC were tight,
Yeah.
but we also see the next day Savannah and both Sophies are walking through the woods, and Sophie with an E is talking about how she has clear vision in the game now, and kind of people being shocked she didn't go home opened her eyes in a way that they weren't before. And she's
Yep.
realizing her Hina friends weren't actually with her.
She is on the bottom of that Hina alliance if she's even part of it anymore.
And I don't know if she is or not, because she's playing the middle really well and seems to be going.
I don't think she's part of it, but we'll
I
have to
don't
see.
either, but I don't think she has closed the door on that yet.
I think
she
they
wants
would get
to play
rid of
the
her
middle
in a
and be able
second
to
if
bounce
they.
back and forth.
I think they'd get rid of her in a second if they had to.
They would, but
They'd probably get rid of her above getting rid of Rizzo's idol.
Apparently, nobody cares about getting Rizzo's idol out because nobody's voting for him.
That's what I meant.
And three tribals that we've gotten a ton of content of flushing the idol and everyone knowing he has it. He's gotten a total of 1 vote.
Yeah,
It's just wild.
it is.
But I kind of like this from Sophie because she's one of my favorite players, and seeing her kind of have that clearer game vision, and we start to see her talking to people and bond with people she hasn't built that bond with so far, and that's such a smart move.
It is. Always. Even if it's not a formal alliance, if you're playing this game in any season, build a bond with absolutely everybody on the show.
What if one of them's Colton? Do I still have to build a bond with him?
If Colton has a jury vote, yes, you do. Otherwise, you might lose.
Fine. Colton, if you're listening, I'm sorry for being mean to you.
I don't think that Colton is the one people should be apologizing to in regards to being mean.
I don't either, but that's just the first name that came to my mind. There's a few names I could have asked there just jokingly. Do I still have to build a bond with this person?
Like I said, if they make the jury, yes, you do.
Fine. And we also see in our next scene here, Alex is wanting to work with the Savannah Rizo group and is talking to Rizo about this.
Yeah.
And this is where Rizzo's skeptical and it kind of sets off his alarms a little bit that Alex is playing both sides and overplaying his hand.
That is true.
Really smart read here.
It is. And we certainly do see that from Alex is, unlike, say, in Sophie's position, someone who's in trouble in her own alliance, when it comes to Rizo working with someone like Alex, who you get the sense who's a decision maker, you just don't need to take that risk.
Yeah. Well, and you look at Alex's job. He works for a politician. Their job is tell people what they want to hear.
That's right.
So he's kind of just doing that with everyone.
Yeah.
Which true. I thought would be good for him coming into this game. And I think you specifically said this job will either help him or hurt him. And it ended up kind of hurting him here.
Yeah.
So.
Though surprisingly not for the reasons that I thought it might hurt him.
What did you think it would be again? I forget.
I have done a similar job, and I know a lot of people in that field, and I thought that he might be both over-opinionated and full of himself at that age.
Which he's not. He's so nice.
He isn't.
So.
But a lot of political staffers are over-opinionated, over-partisan, divisive, and full of themselves.
Well, not just the staffers, the politicians they work for also.
That's for sure. Thankfully, those people are too old to come on Survivor.
Or we just do a whole Survivor season full of like people that work on Capitol Hill.
Oh, God.
If we really want to tank ratings and make sure no one watches, that's the move, I think.
I mean, I would watch that, but please no.
I'm a big enough Survivor fan I might begrudgingly watch it, but it sounds worse than Thailand.
Or we could have 12 people that work on Capitol Hill and 6 people who work on Parliament Hill to kind of become the difference makers and just ride the middle.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be our version of USA versus the world. Isn't our Survivor players but the politicians?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you already have Canadians on the show.
Yes, but we do a tribe of like DC politicians. Then on the other tribe, we have a mix of like Ottawa and London and somewhere else.
The audience is probably going, guys, please don't become employed by Jeff.
No, this is never going to happen. I might have Kevin clip this for TikTok. But
I mean, it wouldn't be as bad of an idea as somebody who sat there and said, let's make season 41 called 41 and let's make season 42 called 42.
I hated the numbers and them getting rid of themes, but I don't when they did it, but I don't mind it anymore.
I'm used to it, but I don't think that it may. I'm not convinced it'll play its way into the 50s.
Yeah.
I think that might be a really 40s thing, and we might see something new after 50.
Yeah.
Notably with some new policies in CBS.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
we
true.
should get back to the episode.
Yeah, we've planned out USA versus the world now, so we can move on to actually recapping our episode. That sounds incredible and terrible all at the same time.
Yeah.
But we have a reward challenge. We have two separate challenges.
We do.
And so sorry, I was typing so I could tell Kevin where to clip for TikTok.
Oh.
And I don't even have a minute number, so it just says early in the recap. But
okay.
The way our reward challenge works is you have to untie and then roll a heavy giant metal cube and use that to unlock a sandbag. Then you crawl under a rope net and then you toss the sandbag up in the air to knock rings off of an oar. Then you toss those rings up to land them on a tall oar that's like vertical.
And the winner gets fried chicken.
Yes,
they have live chickens running around the camp while they're eating it.
Mike Bloom tweeted when he said fried chicken that they were like a little like gif that said please don't sing. And I'm like, no, give me another fried chicken jingle. I don't know why everyone hates the fried chicken and waffle thing so much. It was so funny.
I don't know what this fried chicken jingle is.
No, last season when they did the fried chicken and waffles, like singing
Oh,
thing,
I totally forgot that.
people really didn't like that.
I see.
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. But yes, we get fried chicken, we get french fries, we get soda, and we get cheesecake.
Yeah, we do.
And I did see someone on Twitter, it might have been Steven over at Survivor Quotes, but don't hold me to that because there was a lot of Survivor on my Twitter feed that night. Posted a picture from the Heroes versus Villains challenge where we were rolling giant cubes of Randy telling someone to roll the heavy cube on Rupert's toe and said, be careful with these giant cubes.
That's funny.
But we do have two separate teams for this challenge. Sophie No E is sitting out. And
we get kind of like the Ko-Rong twist where she gets to pick who she thinks is going to win.
Yeah, that's happened a few times over the years. I don't think that's just a Ko-Rong thing.
No, but it started then, so.
It started then, and like your mind immediately goes to Ko-Rong anytime it can.
Of course. I just watched it again last week.
Nice.
I'm going to Ko-Rong next week.
Well, yes, but even when you're not about to go, though, that's just kind of how your mind works, Survivor-wise. Anything it can goes back to Ko-Rong.
Unless it involves people saying that one player that's on 50 should have won.
Well, she should have, but I'm just kidding. I wanted to see what you do. Don't have that conversation with my mom, though.
Okay.
But, oh, that's funny. The yellow team wins, and I did not write down who was on what team, but the yellow team wins.
And therefore, Sophie B loses.
Yes. But part of our like pre-challenge chatter was Jawan talking about how he hadn't gotten a reward yet. And he was on the losing team this team. But Christina wants to give her reward to him and wants to kind of be this motherly taking care of him thing.
I have read other people talking about Sarah in Winners at War, and the general consensus is never give your reward away. It makes you a target. I happen to agree with that.
I get what she was trying to do, honestly.
I get what she was trying to do, but I don't think it's a good strategy.
But also, he doesn't know whether to accept it at first. he struggles receiving things and says he wants to earn it. And huge props to him for that mindset, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
I relate to that a little bit.
Yeah.
But he does ultimately accept the reward.
After he's basically coerced into it.
Yeah. So he gets fried chicken and cheesecake and lemonade and soda and all that jazz. And so we go to the reward. And Jawan's talking to us in confessional about how cool it is to be himself and have people like him for him out here. And this was, I've said it before, but I just love these like human moments on this show like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Same. We definitely do get a good episode from Jawan this week. Even if I don't think it was a bad move, it was a good move from Christina. I think it's a fine move from Jawan. This is going to help him move forward in the game.
Mainly, even if it's not the best strategically for Christina, I respect it. Like just being a helpful person, being kind to him. Like I like
Excuse
that.
me. The audience didn't need to hear that. I apologize.
I was talking over it anyway. I have no idea what
Thank
just
you.
happened. But like props to Christina. Game wise, maybe not great strategy, but just awesome human moment, being kind to someone. I like it.
Yeah,
And in the
absolutely.
case of Sarah and Winners at War, it was someone's birthday. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Not that you're entitled to a reward on your birthday, Rodney, but like it's a nice thing to do for someone.
Fair enough.
Well,
and also, I heard that Sarah had a food intolerance to the rewards. So
people also just will look for reasons to complain about people they already don't like sometimes, and Sarah gets that a lot. People don't like her.
Yeah.
So,
but if you're playing, you also will look for reasons to vote somebody out just based on the Sandra strategy of anyone that's not me.
Yeah.
And that's where I question anything that gives yourself some attention.
True. And so we're still at the reward. Sophie with an E, yellow Sophie, is venting a bit, and she's back on this reaction. And she says that after those reactions last night, and the chat before the challenge, because Christina specifically was still like about how shocked she was and sad she was MC went.
Nope.
That she's kind of like Hina, Kelly, and Uli who. Like tribal lines are gone here.
Which is good for the season.
Yeah. There are some seasons I don't mind tribal lines staying. When we like heroes versus villains with that theme, the no swap and the tribal alliances made it better because the whole season was about those two groups going against each other.
Yeah.
But like without themes like that, it's more fun when it gets blurred like this.
Fair enough.
And Savannah mentions in confessional that she would love to have Sophie work with her and Sophie and they could be on the bottom together. And I wrote, yes, please.
That they wouldn't be on the bottom together. They'd quickly be on the top.
Maybe. I don't.
4 votes plus an extra vote. So you have 5?
Yeah, you'd still be outnumbered 5-4.
No, because you have an extra vote. Sophie, 2 Sophies, Savannah, Rizo, an extra vote. That's 5 votes.
But you don't want to use an extra vote when all it's going to do is tie.
Sure you do.
You can use it better than that.
Not if you're going to have somebody go out.
This is the difference between you and me, is you are like, anytime you have an idol in your pocket, play it, and I'm like, okay, let's not play it poorly or play it when we don't need it.
If you think I'm like that, you should talk to my dad.
I'm sure, but anytime someone has an idol, your first question is, why didn't they play it? Or I would have played it. And I'm like, they didn't need to.
That's not always my first question. Sometimes they don't need it. I just felt that MC could have needed it.
Yeah.
I mean, she got voted out.
But just in general, I'm a lot more cautious. And I'd probably go home with one, and you wouldn't. So
Fair enough.
but like you have this extra vote. There's better ways you can use it than just to force a tie. Right? Just
Yeah,
work work your social game, work the votes the way Rizzo did on Alex here.
yeah,
But that quote, like Savannah saying Sophie should work with us, we can be on the bottom together. I'm like, yes, please. Sophie's one of my two favorites, Savannah's third. I want all of my favorites on the same side of the game.
exactly.
Now, Christina is still on
It's
the
not
other side of the game, and
speaking
she's
of,
on my draft team.
speaking
But
to a host of the New Generation Challenge podcast. It's not fun to watch your two favorites on opposite sides of the game.
yeah,
I'm sure
but
you know which two players I'm speaking of,
I know Sydney.
and Olivia/Theo,
Yeah,
who I kind of consider one player in this season.
I like Olivia a lot. I've been rooting against her alliance the whole season. But yeah, and so I'd love to see both Sophie's and Savannah and Rizzo all together. Christina, one of my draft teamers, is still on the other side, but we haven't even heard her name come up as an option.
Yeah, we
So
haven't. And she has an idol.
yeah, but like I just said, you can go home with one of those, and it's not that hard to do.
Or Sophie could take it away from you.
I don't think she's going to be dumb enough to tell someone who's not in her alliance she has it.
Unless she thinks other Sophie is in her alliance. That's what I'm worried about. With how much with how much Sophie B talks about knowledge is power in an episode where she doesn't need knowledge is power.
I don't know that Christina would trust Sophie S with that knowledge, though. She wants to send her home,
That's fair.
and now she knows that Sophie knows that.
Yeah, we will see. I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't see
I'm
Sophie.
just speculating.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I don't see Sophie B finding out about Christina's idol.
Yeah.
I don't think she's not on anyone's radar. So I think there's a chance she goes home with it, but
yeah,
because that, like we said, that would be me. But maybe I'm not convinced that I wouldn't play it really smartly, but we'll see.
You would have a 50% chance of doing so.
Yeah, but I'm me, so I'd probably just misjudge a situation and think I'm fine.
Fair enough.
And that I don't need it. But we also see in the confessional Jawan talk about how he and Sage are kind of in the power position in this game, and all roads are leading back to them.
Which is interesting considering that they were on the outs of their old tribe.
Yeah, and they're not using their power to do anything.
No.
Like, we heard, how many confessionals or little scenes have we seen Sage talking about wanting to send home Savannah or Rizzo?
Yeah.
And Flushing, and Savannah's had 2 immunities in a row, so throw her out. Rizzo received 1 vote this tribal, and it was from Alex.
Yep.
So, like, yes, they're in the power position, they're in the middle. Everyone's coming to them with information. I don't know what they're doing with it.
Exactly.
And this is also, right after this, we see Sage and Christina plotting to send Savannah home and talking about that Rizzo's idol needs to go.
Yep.
And right after this,
nothing happens.
Talked about kind of that Alex Rizzo scene earlier. Rizzo tells us in confessional that he wants to build a common enemy, and he's setting his targets on Alex, and we see him go around talking to everyone.
Which is very smart.
Yeah. And he's saying some true
He's chipping away at the numbers.
True things in there too.
He's chipping away at the numbers in the bigger alliance to get himself back in the game.
Yeah. And if you've got a group with 2 alliances like this, taking a shot at someone in the middle is an easy vote.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone, and I said I could see Alex going. He's in the middle. He's easy. And it was like right after Probst referenced 50. And the response I got was, well, with Probst talking about 50, they're not going to want to make an easy move. They're not going to want to, they're going to want to make an impact. I was right. Alex went a couple,
Yeah,
like week or two after I had that conversation. So
right, he did.
if you're that person and you're listening, I told you so. But 50, 50 should and will play no part in how they vote people out.
It shouldn't, but whether it will or not, we'll see.
Like if they're smart, they'll play the season they're on.
Right.
But we go to the immunity.
And note that Jeff did not say we're reserving spots on 50 for your season. He just said 50 isn't finalized. So they could assume in all likelihood they're not getting a spot on 50, the way I would have listened to that.
Yeah, but if it's not finalized, why would you like? You'd have to assume you have a shot. That's why he's bringing it up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it just isn't smart to play with 50 in mind. This isn't the challenge where you're like making your decisions trying to get called back another season.
That's right.
Like they're here to try and win.
Yeah.
Not that challengers aren't, but it's just a different model.
That's right.
You can win on the challenge, and if you're boring TV, you still don't come back. So
Back. And you cannot win, but if you're entertaining TV, Leroy, Nani, Amanda, you come back all the time.
Leroy's the best to not win, though.
Yeah, but he's entertaining. That's why he comes back. He's great on the show. I don't think he's ever going to win.
I want him to win so bad. He deserves to win.
Oh, I agree. I would love to see him win. I just don't think he will.
Also, Amanda.
No.
No, I'm not saying I want to see her win. She's in that group of
I mentioned
win,
her,
but keeps getting called back.
I just mentioned her.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I thought you wanted to see her win, and I'm like, did he just say that? Are you really trying to get a reaction out of me tonight?
No, I really don't want to see her win. I don't want to see her on the show again. But honestly, your crash out, if she were to become a champion, would be kind of fun to watch.
I don't know what TT and I would have to say that week.
Unless it was like a Rivals 4.
Yeah.
Which I don't... With Rivals, you get one of two things. You get pairs of rivals that put the past behind them and like work together well. Like a Johnny and Tyler, or like... There's been a few examples of that.
Something tells me just how overdramatic she is. If it was a Rivals partner for Michelle, it wouldn't be Amanda.
No, but if it were, you wouldn't get the like they learn to work together really well. You'd get the other thing you get on Rivals, which we saw from All Stars Rivals, which I'm a few episodes into, like John A. and Beth, where they just never learn to work together.
But I think if Michelle ever went on a Rivals season, her partner would be Laurel, not Amanda.
Yeah, well, Laurel at least like didn't start. Laurel's still kind of unreasonable about it.
We're getting off topic again.
Disliking her in the game for game reasons. Amanda just hates her and doesn't have a reason at this point.
We're getting off topic again. Listen to New Generation Challenge podcast if you want to hear about the challenge.
Yeah, all this to say, I was right. Alex was an easy vote because of him being in the middle.
Yeah.
So, our immunity challenge, though, it's the last woman and last man standing both win immunity and a spot in the final 8.
They do. So we have two. Yes, we go from 5 immunity winners down to 2 immunity winners. We're progressing in the game.
Yeah, we still don't have everyone playing for themselves with only 1 immunity.
But at the same time, I think that this is the only fair thing to do in any challenge where they've noticed in testing that one gender has a distinct advantage over the other.
Is that the case with this challenge?
Well, it was like 3 women at the end, and then assume the same thing happened when they tested it many times. Because
True.
the dream team doesn't do a challenge once; they do it like 20 times.
This challenge would suck to do that many times.
Yeah, but hey, they're being paid and they're living in Fiji. If I was not as obese, I would try to join that team.
I'm trying to think of what the worst challenge would be to just do repeatedly over and over again.
Hands on the hurdle.
My mind went to Last Gasp, but that's just
I would
generally where my
love to
mind
do
goes with
Last
challenges.
Gasp.
What?
I would love to try Last Gasp.
Doing it repeatedly in a row, though.
Yeah, I would do it. I think I could win that challenge. I know people hate it, but I really think I could win it.
I would either do really well or I'd be like the first person out. There'd be no middle ground. I don't know which it would be.
I just think as somebody who scuba dives a lot that like I would feel much more comfortable in the water the way that many people do not.
Yeah, but when you're scuba diving, you have air attached to you.
Yeah, but you try to get hit with a 10-foot wave in the face the first time and realize how surprising it is.
Fair.
I've had waves come up over my face, and because you have your mouthpiece in, you just let them happen.
My Last Gasp strategy would definitely, I'd be one of those people that like wraps their legs around the bars and like
Yeah,
fully drapes my limbs all the way around it and just hangs on the bars.
very smart.
But I'd either do I think that's the worst one.
And this is where I think my diving experience could help me. My take is the key to Last Gasp is not and again we're getting off topic. They don't do that challenge in this season, but the key to Last Gasp is not breathing and getting up higher necessarily, but is timing your breaths when the waves are at the valley.
Yeah.
And therefore it's lower water. Half a second later, it's going to be high water.
I think, and I'll end on this, then explain how this challenge works, because this one is up there as far as just would suck to do 20 times in a row.
Yeah.
But the one from like Team Challenge, Old School Survivor, where you have one person holding a bunch of weight, like a couple people.
That would
and
suck.
as a team, you keep adding weight to different people's shoulders.
Yep.
And it ends with like one person, like Rupert, with like all the weight.
240 pounds or whatever.
That would stink to have to do 15 times.
Same as Colby in Australian Outback.
Yeah, that would. But the way that this challenge, segue, would also stink to do 15 times in a row. Because you're sitting with your feet in the air holding a disc in place. And for the first 10 minutes, you can hold onto your legs or hold onto the box you're sitting on. And after that, you can't do that anymore.
Absolutely.
I don't. My problem would be, what do I do with my hands at this point?
I won't answer that question.
Because, like, my natural instinct would want to be to just put them on the box I'm sitting on. So,
yeah, that's the hard part. It would almost be like what happened to CT in that trivia challenge this year.
Yeah.
That he had just the natural impact of hold on to the stair climber.
Well, when the stair climber is being dangled high up in the air above water, too. Like.
Anyway, point is, Savannah wins and does so very comfortably.
Savannah wins, and it was a pretty close duel. It's her and Sophie again.
Well, we saw Sophie go off. I think Savannah could have went a lot longer.
Yeah, but pretty hard fought between those two. They last a while.
Yeah.
Steven wins for the guys and channels his inner Christian Hubicki a little bit in this challenge and just starts giving us random science facts.
Speaking of channeling Christian Hubicki, I wonder what he's going to come up with for 40 or for 50.
But like, Steven just starts giving us space facts. One of which is you could fit all the planets side by side in the distance between Earth and the Moon, which I did not know. That's just
no idea. That is insane. I never knew the Moon was that far away.
The final three women in this were my three favorite players. It was both Sophie's and Savannah. Blue Sophie, no E. drops. So we did have another battle like last week. Sophie with an E versus Savannah, and it goes the same way. Savannah wins again.
We did.
But I have a funny moment from during that battle because Probst says to the girls something along the lines of, "When's the last time you ever tested your tank like this or tested yourself like this?" And they're both immediately like, "Yeah, 2 days ago."
Yeah, Jeff.
Like, Probst,
Remember.
what are you doing here? You were there.
Jeff was having a bit too many margaritas up Ponderosa.
Yeah. But Savannah does win immunity again, like you said. And I did notice after the challenge, Savannah and Sophie S, they kind of air high fived after that. I'm like, oh, maybe they're growing closer. Maybe I'm getting my wish here of them working together now.
Yeah.
Maybe I read too much into that. That could just be hard fought challenge. Good job. But
it's true.
I did wrote, does Hina know that Sophie isn't with them anymore after this challenge? Which was funny because the next scene when we get back to camp is her and Christina and Steven plotting about a split vote.
Yeah. Which is smart from her to still be playing that side as a way to influence the vote in whichever way you want it to go, especially when she's in the minority no matter what.
She's playing free agent here. She wants to be able to have everyone tell her stuff and decide which side to go to. I don't think she wants to commit to either side, which is smart.
Speaking of the fact that we're at Final 8, she's playing Michelle's game.
There you go.
You know I'll make that reference when I can.
Yeah. And this is where Rizo says that if they can get through this round with his idol, that he and Savannah and Sophie B, they can control the game with his idol and Savannah's extra vote.
Yep.
And I'm really wondering if they're going to be, at this point I'm watching, I'm like, are you going to be able to? You're going to be receiving votes. They're going to try to flush your idol. I was wrong for some reason. They apparently don't care about his idol, but... And so... We also have Alex finally realizing people are onto him, and we kind of see him in damage control mode here, and hoping the relationships he's built can cover his tracks for playing in the middle.
That we do.
So... And I think for the situation he was in, I think he did a good job at least attempting damage control.
Yeah, you're right. He did the best that he could.
And so, going into Tribal, it seems pretty clear that it's either going to be Alex or Rizo, which is where I really wish Twitter hadn't, basically told us that Rizo was coming back next season. Because if we didn't know that, this would have been so interesting going into Tribal.
Yeah.
But knowing he comes back, I just don't see them bringing someone back that went home at 9. So...
Absolutely.
You kind of knew it would be Alex, but they're editing it as if we don't know that, which is fun. So it's this, is it going to be Alex or Rizo thing? And
yeah.
So we go into Tribal. Sophie's talking about Sophie with an E. He's talking about Rizzo's idol and keeping it versus flushing it, and this kind of the devil you know versus devil you don't thing. And I thought that was kind of interesting, but I didn't think that would lead to what happened. And I don't know if those are connected, if her saying that is why he didn't get votes, but...
That's a good point.
I don't think it is. I think they had already decided who they were voting going in. But
yeah, absolutely.
I also have a funny Steven moment because Probst asked him a question and goes, I can give you a space analogy or I can give you a kangaroo
This was
analogy.
Great.
And Probst is like, oh, cool, I have options. Give me kangaroo. And Steven's like, well, I wasn't expecting you to say that. I only have space. So here's the space.
That was funny.
Maybe my favorite moment of Tribal, honestly.
Yeah.
So Alex does go.
Maybe one of the better moments of Tribal this season.
Do what?
Said maybe one of the better moments from Tribal this season.
Yeah, Alex does go home. I'm sad. I didn't want to lose any of my draft people, but Sophie B was the second highest vote getter, so I'm really happy. Like if it was her or him, I'm glad it was him.
Yep.
So it is what it is. I'm sad, but not that sad that he's gone.
Fair.
And so yeah, that's our episode this week.
That is ready to get into Align Blindside First Boot.
Yeah, do you want to go first or do you want me to?
We will. I have 3 of them lined up right now.
Hey, same. I already made the graphic on my phone for mine.
Oh, nice. So for yours, I am in honor of Alex, who, like we said, worked on Capitol Hill. I am going to give you 3 players who, at least at one point of their lives, resided in my favorite city in the United States, which is your capital.
Nice.
So your options for Align Blindside First Boot are the first player from Washington, D.C., Matthew Von Ofelda from the Amazon.
Wow.
Second place, shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Also, a winner that was born in Washington, D.C., John Cochran, and a player who I am envious of in my research for this because I find out that she went to the university that I would have most liked to attend in all of North America, and that's George Washington University, Kelly Nalbandian.
Interesting. So Cochran's gonna go first. He's the best player here. He's the most dangerous, I think. He's the only one that's won.
Yeah.
The other two, I'm torn because I think Kelly would be really fun to play with, but I feel like she might beat me at the end. She's also really likable and gets along well.
Yeah.
Whereas my friend Machete Matthew from the Amazon
has lost, but he might kill everybody.
We've seen him go to the end and lose.
Yeah.
So I think as much as I want to play with Kelly, I'm gonna.
And with all due respect to
align with Matthew.
With all due respect to Jenna, Matthew lost to someone who was not all that popular amongst her own jury.
Yeah, but
there were some votes that highly respected Jenna, like Heidi and Rob, but there were others like Christy that I was like, how did that work?
Because she was up against someone that literally just sat there sharpening the machete.
Exactly. That's my point. So I think I'm going to completely agree with you there. Take Matthew to the end, blindside Kelly, and first boot Cochran.
I will say, the machete scene is so funny, the way they edit it, though.
Yeah.
And Rob's narration of it is great. The horror movie music they put behind it is funny.
I just can't wait to see Rob back on reality television and to talk about him on Roundtable Chat Talk.
Yeah, so did I send you the video of Bryce reacting to Rob's Traders picture?
No.
You know how Bryce reacts to things.
Yeah.
But what part of Rob's thing was that he had his thumbs crossed and Bryce was all up on that. And I saw that the night before we went to the party, and I brought it up to Bryce.
Nice.
And Bryce was taking a picture with Kevin. I said, Kevin, make sure you cross your thumbs in the picture. And Bryce fussed at me and said it was too soon or something like that. So, lots of fun. I'll send you that video.
Sure.
Of him reacting to Rob's Traders picture. But
nice.
So your 3 names are gathered because I saw the new Wicked movie that opened today.
Nice.
And one of the things that is associated with Wicked very much is the color combination pink and green. It's you see on my shirt here. So you have people from pink and green tribes.
Nice.
Well, 1 pink and 2 green. There's not very many pink tribes to choose from.
No, there aren't. There's just a few.
I can only think of one. So, from Bayon on Cambodia, I can think of more if you include Australian, but I wasn't.
Fair.
You have Monica Padilla, who I
Okay.
have a question. You were in the fandom when Cambodia happened. Were you surprised she got voted back on?
I was shocked that most of these people got back on, but yes, very much so.
Because like I saw Cambodia first, and I'm like, okay, but it's an all-star cast. Not everyone's gonna shine as bright their first season. And I eventually watched Samoa. I'm like, okay, she's fun, but I don't get how she got voted back on with
I
some of the
I
people
did
on
not
the
either.
ballot. Okay, cool. I'm not alone. But you have
No, she
Monica.
was probably the most controversial selection of that cast.
Yeah, it was a really good cast. I just
It
don't get
was.
how she made it on. Probably social media campaigning like Kelly did,
Yeah,
but Wentworth, that is.
yeah.
But you have Monica from a pink tribe in Bayon, and from green tribes you have from Luzon in Cagayan, Spencer, who now goes by Raymond, Reiman, and you have from Ua on 41 a green tribe, Ricard.
Nice. I am going to align with Monica. If we don't know why she got on the show, then she's probably not going to win, but has enough popularity to go far in the game. I'm going to blindside the code, who clearly got taken out at the end, but a lot of people I think were pretty certain was going to win the game if he managed to get a seat at final three.
If he had made final three, he certainly wins. But coming
And
into the finale, you knew there's no way they'd let him get there.
he had to immunity and fire his whole way there.
Yeah,
And then that leaves me to first boot Spencer slash Lehman, who, I mean, I'm sure is a nice guy, but I would feel that he could probably play the best game against you that is not blatantly obvious and kind of be behind the scenes and blindside you first.
true. We have seen him go to the end and lose to a unanimous jury vote. So there is that, though.
But that's Jeremy.
We'll just be Jeremy.
Fair.
You say fair like that's not a completely ridiculous thing I just said. That's
I know.
an unattainable goal.
But
Jeremy.
you said something ridiculous, but then so did Jeremy say something ridiculous recently that got a lot of attention in this fan base.
Yeah, which I don't agree with what he said, but as they usually do, the fan base kind of went too far on it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to be calling Jeremy a misogynist just because he said Parvati's win was half a win.
Oh yeah, definitely
But
not.
the online fandoms tend to do that. That's not just a Survivor thing.
No, I tend to try to ignore them as much as I can.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to align with Monica. While I'm confused she got on Cambodia over T-Bird, she's solid on Samoa.
Yeah.
Not anything, not like a standout player to me, but solid player. We're gonna go to the end, and also she scares me a lot less than the other two.
Nice.
Ricard is going home first. He's the scariest here to me. That guy's so good.
Yeah.
But and I'm gonna blindside Spencer slash Raymond and hope he's not bitter at me about it.
Nice.
Oh, this was fun.
That was fun. Well, check out Pit Stop Pals. Check out New Generation Challenge podcast today, and then we'll be back in just under a month for the final slash reunion all in one episode when I'm back in North America. I don't know, Bruce, do you know if we're gonna do this over your Thanksgiving weekend?
I can.
If you can, then we'll be back here next week, and then you'll probably have a guest in while I'm gone, but I'll be back for the finale at least.
Yeah.
And certainly, if you're filming with a guest, let me know what the schedule is, because I would love to pop in from Korong Ponderosa. That would be cool.
Will do. And so, with that being said, check out the other Reality Realm shows. Brett mentioned New Generation Challengers. Pit Stop Pals is having a blast over there, too.
Yep.
Roundtable talk covering Maple Leaf Traders has been really fun. It's Traders Canada. For some reason, I called it Maple Leaf Traders on the title line of my notes one week, and that's just
Or,
kind of what I call it now. But
or
Traders
as the
Canada's
host
been
would
fun.
say, traders fédérable.
English?
Maple Leaf.
Oh.
I thought that was blatantly obvious when I was translating.
Well, I don't know French.
Fair enough.
You could have been saying, like, hot chili cheese dog for all I know.
That's what somebody does to me in German.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, with that being said, check out all our other shows and grab your torches and head back to camp. Bye, everyone.
Bye.